Welcome back, my little recusants, to another episode of our Final Fantasy II Pixel Remaster 100% guide. We are just after finishing the Cave of Mysidia dungeon. We're after unlocking the Crystal Trident, or Rod. Sorry, Crystal Trident is in Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. We're after unlocking the Crystal Rod, and this magic staff is here to help us unseal the entrance to the Ultima Tome. Now, where the Ultima Tome is within the Tower of Mysidia, and that tower is actually just in that little circular island that we're just going to go north of to into the little island there. Now, what I was trying to encounter, and I still haven't encountered, are imps. Imps are somewhere here around Mysidia, but do not worry, we will still meet them eventually. The death spell and the teleport spell are spells that I end up using very, very much at the very, very end of the game. But unfortunately, guys, with the crystal in hand, on approaching Mysidia Tower, we get kind of Jonah and the whale, and we end up getting completely swallowed by a gigantic whirlpool and get swallowed by a leviathan, a creature of the deep. 'Tis not the vibe. And then Recusant's like, where are we? Layla, we're missing Layla, and now we have to, a bit like Kingdom Hearts, make our way through a monster. And this area is a one-time visit, so do not miss any of the treasure chests that I am unlocking here, because we will not be able to make it out or make it back here again. We did, however, get every single encounter of Leviathan here in one go, which is great. We end up getting the Boldfish, the Manta Ray, and the Sea Dragon, and all of them are logged into the Bestiary, which is great. And just in case you were worried, oh, Recusant, you used death. Does death, impact this at all? And it literally doesn't. We end up getting all the different fish, the Boldfish, and all the enemies that we needed to log here, done and dusted. So the Sea Dragon and the Manta Ray, all good. And obviously, we're able to meet them in other sections of the seas. But I mean, we got them all in one encounter here, which is quite good. Now, one other achievement that we have been working on slowly but surely is we've been trying to get our magic and our weapons up to the max level of 16. We need both of those things to happen for a trophy. But as you can notice, when we're walking in the orange Lucozade of Death, we are taking damage. Now, what we're able to do is abuse that, and by using Cure to heal up everybody's HP by taking minor damage, because again it hits everybody in the entire party, we can run into the Lucozade, heal up everybody, and then by doing that multiple different times, we are able to max out our Cure spell to level 16. The max level it can be, getting us an achievement. Now in hindsight, we actually get to collect a fourth party member by speaking to the Dragoon character. So the husband of the family that thought that the Last Dragoon had died because he was in search of the Ultima Tome. He actually just got swallowed by the Leviathan as well, trying to approach the tower. So we do end up with our max magic tactics, which is great. Do not accidentally forget a max level Cure spell. That would be literally disastrous. But go forward and talk to Richard. But first collect this treasure chest. Getting a power armlet. Very, very good. New arrivals, eh? So who are you? And we know by the title card that it is Richard, or Rickard. And then he's like, where'd you hear about that? So we have to talk to him about Mysidia. I've been to Mysidia, it's a town full of mages. We can talk to him about the wyverns. And he's just like, you guys are talking about all such random things. And then you can tell him about the dragons all being destroyed and the wyverns all being destroyed. And he's like, you guys are crazy. And then when you eventually bring up the Ultima Tome, he says that he was looking for it as well. There's a boat up ahead, but it's a tough monster, but maybe we can all defeat it together. And Rickard can join the party. We're joining up with the Last Dragoon. And by collecting the Last Dragoon, we get another achievement. So, all is well. Progressing up to the 3rd floor, we now have purple goo, which is gnarly. And we're only getting the same couple of encounters, so we can turn those off. We end up collecting a Gaia Blade. So obviously that's kind of an earth elemental sword. But we're not going to worry about swords for now because, again, Rickard isn't a permanent member. Spoilers, I guess. But Rickard actually does have some strength. You know, he's actually kind of able to hold his own, which is nice. But obviously, having tainted with an instant kill spell, or at least it would be instant kill if they didn't absorb death, which just goes to show it's wild how certain magics are just classified as an effect. And then all of a sudden, you know, tainted is doing death damage. And instead of being an instant KO effect, it has a heal value. It's wild. I don't quite know how or why it's working like that, but we need to stop basically hitting them with death magic and healing them. But we do get a nice item out of the treasure chest, so that's a win. Recusen's MP is so low. Oh my goodness. Absolutely wild. But now if we can just get some more holy magic, single target, it should have actually one-shot them all. So eventually I do realise that unless it's like an instant KO effect, obviously having single target damage does better work. Rickard nearly has a level up in his spear skill as well, so you know, it's good that we're getting levels for his stuff at the moment. We also have diamond shields, so that's quite nice too. Adding that to the inventory. And we're just gonna attack the roundworm. And he basically says that if we get past this boss, we should be able to commandeer the ship and sail out of this enemy, which should be good. Poor our Rickard doesn't have the HP, so let's try and pick him up with some life magic. And then if we can get everyone haste, and then Doppelganger can punch this into oblivion. Only healing for 60, God love us. Come on, DJ. Finish the job. So we get a life level up, and Rickard gets spear and shield level ups. We're just going to triple check with everything because once again this area is not repeatable. So yeah, we got all 5 treasures. Absolutely brilliant. We can progress on with the story. I'm not sure how we got Layla out, but I'm pretty sure we got Layla out. Did say she was missing. We did kind of just leave the Leviathan very suddenly. I'm sure there's probably an optional cutscene where it's like, oh, like Layla's unconscious we'll take her to the ship once the enemy's freed. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Either way, we've Rickard now. We're going to just make a quick save-a-roo. We're going to triple check the bestiary. Everything is as it should be. Bar the imp. We're looking for the imp. But basically, the ones that I'm highlighting, the Buccaneer, the Sea Snake, basically, once we finish this area, Mysidia Tower, these weaker enemies will not spawn anymore. So just make sure we have the Antillian, we have the Buccaneer, we have the little dodo looking fella, that little ostrich fella, that little green ostrich in the first zone. If you've been following my guide exactly and waiting till you get all these different encounters, they should all be there and it should be absolutely no issue. But just be aware that once you finish Mysidia Tower, this will be a point of no return, and you will have fundamentally altered the encounter table from that point onward, and you will not be able to encounter weaker enemies at the start of the game. Now, basically, what I'm also showing you is that basically the early towns, they will also become inaccessible. Now, I have visited them already, but just be aware that they'll also become inaccessible on completion of Mysidia Tower. I do end up buying an awful lot of stuff, but just to be aware, you should take your time and make sure you visited every encounterable place, because on finishing Mysidian Tower, there will be a tornado and it will actually completely obliterate and make Altair and certain other areas completely inaccessible. So you've been forewarned about that. But with the crystal staff or crystal rod, we have now unsealed the protective barrier, keeping the Ultima Tome safe from prying and unworthy hands. But I think Tainted is worthy of the magic. She has been absolutely slaying with her different magics, and unfortunately Recusant has kinda stolen a bit of the thunder, no pun intended, from Lady Thor, because Holy has just been really, really powerful. But let's watch as Ultima starts to shine as well. Again, some enemies that we have definitely fought before, but just, you know, if you haven't managed to find them, you can find them in Mysidian Tower as well. Tainted once again getting up a ton of agility, which is what we want. We're after, you know, fighting some ghosts, getting some haste level ups, getting some HP. Rickard's starting to look a bit less underdeveloped than the rest of us. What I will say is Mysidian Tower seems to have an awful lot of like undead and stuff as well, so just be mindful of that. We do encounter an imp, finally. We were looking outside of Mysidia, but we can encounter them in Mysidian Tower, so that's great. Really, really good stuff there. Nothing that a quick Holy can't fix. And just like that, we've ended up with, again, more of the bestiary filled, which is absolutely what we want. It's nearly completely completed. Like, an awful lot of the 106 and, you know, other elements there are from just the other late game dungeons. So, you know, when we were keeping up with it and keeping on top with it as we go along, it makes it not that difficult of a trophy to have, you know. But hopping up to the top left and top right corners of Mysidian's first floor, you will get some treasure chests, which is nice. Now go to the end of this little L shape and you should be able to find a secret passage to get into that center area. So go back to the very, very first treasure and then go down and to the left, and that'll be where the secret passage is. And we end up getting white robes, which are, you know, we've kind of had our magic users in armor, which is really not the vibe. And this is really where I realize, oh, actually, yeah, recusant should definitely, like, not be having these different, like, armors. So we're going to give him a golden hairpin. We're going to try our best to figure out, okay, what exactly is causing all this magic interference. And it's actually just, the gloves. His mithril gloves randomly are like so much interference, which is annoying. But yeah, getting rid of the mithril gloves should see us grand. And the power armlet, again, is just like a little bracelet. It gives us way more defense, gives us a good boost to our power. And as I say, yeah, just literally losing a couple points of defense to have very little magic interference is great for our mages. So again, we've kind of overpowered our stats so much that equipment doesn't really matter. But at the same time, we've kind of blitzed through so much of the game and collected so many treasures that it's like, actually, we should kind of take a pause, take a moment, and realize, oh, actually, we've gotten some pretty good stuff here. Heading on up, it's a bit like Final Fantasy 1's final dungeon, where each floor then kind of has an elemental theme. So this area is obviously the fire section, so we're gonna just turn off encounters just so I can find all the treasure chests quickly, and just not have you like stopping and starting every couple of seconds to you know, cut out duplicate battles that we don't need. But now we have another area of damage that we take from walking on the surface. So again, if you were running low on ethers or couldn't maximize your magic before, there's other areas where, like that, we're getting pipped with damage, like toxic damage or fire damage in this case. But just make your way along the different floors and we'll eventually find a lovely treasure chest up and to our left here. Again, if we weren't super overpowered, this entire flame resistance set would be great for DJ in getting rid of our, you know, flame weakness. Because basically, in order to master the ultimate magic, there are 4 gigases defending each floor as we progress up. So likewise, there's a fire gigas, there's an ice gigas, etc. So that's why collecting all the treasures, getting a full suit of flame shield, flame armor, etc. will be good to give to our tank if our tank didn't already have max HP and really high defense, you know? But yeah, again, a different creature to add to the bestiary. Fire, ice gigas, you know, really good to just get these all finished with. But obviously we have our white mage able of doing holy damage, which is just basically neutral to nearly just about everything. And if we can give our berserk buff to our 2 fighters, we should see this finished lickety split. With it defeated, we get Tainted another level up in Berserk, which is great. Her intellect goes up and her agility goes up. Always nice. Let's move forward to the now Icy level, where, you guessed it, we're going to basically get a full decked out suit of ice armor, ice weapons, etc. We do want to run up and again walk through the icicles. We're gonna just endure and survive. We end up with the ice lance there, and then we're gonna go back down the stairs, just again making sure we're not missing any treasures as we go along in the tower. ice lance, ice gloves. We're going to definitely get ice armors and ice shields. And then fight an ice gigas. But again, a bit like me, literally having mithril gloves the entire time until finally, you know, taking the time to actually go, oh wait, I should probably see my equipment and see what stuff's good. There is an ice lizard here, so I do take the time to kind of just stop and take some encounters on the ice floor in order to find the ice lizard. But once we find it, that's another enemy added to the bestiary. Super duper handy. Once again, do not be afraid of the ice. The ice cannot hurt you. Collect the treasure. Move on up. Fight the ice gigas. Obviously, hitting it with fire from our black mage would be smart. But I mean, holy and attacks seem to be doing just fine. And just like that, our girl giving our buffs, our boys giving it hell. Berserk leveling up again, which, like, obviously a brilliant thing to be doing. Mysidian Tower floor 6. We have way more items to collect now. Just run around and collect all the bits and pieces. Like, yeah. We're kind of just on cleanup at the moment. Just figuring out what the right way to go is and whatnot. Progressing further and further up. Mysidian Tower level 7. Like, it just never ends, guys. Oh my god. Well, sorry, it does end at the top floor. But this is, again, one of our longer battles that we've ever kind of had on the playthrough, I suppose. And again, just me realizing, oh my god, like there's just no let up on the enemies, so I might as well just pop by on the no encounters. And that's one of the things that really was a quality of life game changer here, is the fact that we can literally just turn off the encounters once we have enough, because it's just a flooding. There's just too much enemies all day, every day, every 10 seconds, 20 seconds. It's mad. But basically, we're going to pause our ascent for now, and once we complete this Gigas, we are going to end the episode, and we'll finish our ascent next time. I have been the RPG Recusant. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this episode. Please leave a like and a comment on how you've been enjoying the series, and I'll chat to you next time. Have a good one.